to my channel. I'm Chanel, and in this video today I am going to be going through my art supplies. So this here is Pebeo, I think I'm saying that right, oil paints. I have not had the chance to use these yet, so if you are interested in seeing what these look like, how they work, just let me know. I might make a video. It'll probably be a lot of trial and error as I try to get used to them. It did come with like a little palette, but it's not in there because I clearly was playing with my child with the palette. We were using it for something. But yeah, just let me know if you're interested in seeing that, and maybe I will make a video of what, I don't know, but I will find something to paint. So these are my graphite stick pencils. I unfortunately don't get to use these as much as I used to. I've been a little neglectful with my sketching, but anyway, I really like these. If you've never used woodless graphite pencils before, it almost feels like glass. It's kind of cool. They have a bit of weight to them, and it's just a lot easier to do shading work because you can just turn the pencil on its side and do your thing. You just have to be very careful that you don't drop them though. I made that mistake a few days ago and it just broke in half, unfortunately. These are my Turner Acryl gouache paints. It's the Japan-esque set. I think I'm saying that right. You can look at the words there. I love to use these. I don't use them that often. It can be a little bit of a learning curve compared to some other gouaches. And because these are acrylic gouache, you can't re-wet them. So once it dries, it's dry. You can't fix it, you can't reactivate it. So you just have to be careful and mindful of laying your colors down if you're working with these. I got rid of the box just because it was easier to reach for them and get them out of this little jar. They are by Soho Urban Artists, which I'm pretty sure is Jerry's Artorama, one of their brands or lines. But I like that they have foil on them so your hands don't get dirty, and they go on pretty light. It's not as dark as your typical charcoal, but pretty easy to use. And I like that they're in a container, so it just keeps them from breaking. This is a Liquitex acrylic gouache that I've been like nickel and diming. I'm so stingy with how I use it. Gloves, you have to have gloves. I use those when I oil paint, or at least I try to. This is my Gamblin varnish brush, and you can see it's a little stiff. I have to put it back in the Gamsol to kind of get some of that varnish off. And in this case, it's pretty noisy. I keep my paints in here. So I've got some Liquitex acrylic paint. You don't see tubes like that anymore. Again, these are a bit older and I've been using them for a long time, but they work great. There is my brush that I use to kind of blend out backgrounds. And you know, I figured let's make it sparkly and cute. So I got those really cheap at Walmart. And I don't know, they just kind of make it fun. And the bristles are super soft, so I can just lightly brush over my backgrounds when I'm trying to do like a gradient sky, and it comes out really good. But again, back to my Liquitex paints. I have a good range of colors, and as I said, yeah, the tubes don't look like that anymore. These are old. I got them as a gift many years ago, and again, you know, painting took a backseat for a while, for a few years, but that's a newer tube there, so they look like that. And I also have my Gamblin oil paints mixed in, so these are definitely newer. I've got these in the past few years, and I have a wide range of colors, and I just really love that they have, you know, these beautiful colors like this magenta, radiant magenta, and the turquoise. Like, they're my favorite. If I could paint with those all the time, I would. So this is another Liquitex paint. Many years ago, they sent out this yellow medium color, and one was cadmium free and one wasn't, and they just wanted to see if you could tell the difference. I think they were just trying to prove like you can still get a really good experience with them. And then this next paint I have, I'm gonna butcher this name, Sennelier. uh I do like the squeeze tube option, or the squeeze packet pouch. So this is my Creative Inspirations gouache. It is from Jerry's Artorama. I don't know if this is like a product they make or they're just the only one that carries it, because yeah, it's the only site that I've seen it on when I look it up online. What I really like about this though is that I don't experience some of the issues that I hear other people have with other gouaches. So I haven't had any mold experience, but as you see, I like to leave the plastic cover on. I don't open them all the way just because I'm trying to keep that moisture in, but even if it gets dry, it still reactivates easily, so you don't have to worry about that. And I just haven't used all the colors yet, so I haven't felt the need to take it off. And on the underside, you can see all the colors that you have, which I like. But what I really like the most is that you can order a paint pouch online and refill your color so you're not like using up more plastic, which is a big win for me. So this is my Keter case. Technically, I think it's supposed to be for tools. I did get it at Lowe's. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. I got it many, many years ago. I assume they still make it. I could be wrong. I have not checked recently. But anyway, I can store all my art supplies in here. I got my shading stumps, um, my erasers, and mono erasers. Those are absolute must have, especially if you work with colored pencil. I use them a lot when I work on wood and I use color pencil on wood, so it just, that grit of the sand makes it easy to get that stuff off. These are little ink cartridge things that go inside this calligraphy pen I have that I have not used. Um, that's something I'm trying to find time to teach myself to do, but it just seems really intriguing. Not that I plan on doing like calligraphy as like a big part of my art journey, but these are some Pentel oil pastels. I haven't really used them. As you can see, they're still pretty intact. But what I like about this, it has little pouches or cups, containers you can put your stuff in, or you can just take them out. Like if you have them filled with something you need, you can just pop it out, put it on the desk where you're working, and they go back in really easy. There are my pencil refills, keep those in there. And it also has a little storage underneath, and that's kind of where I keep the stuff I don't really reach for. And the pockets are bigger. That just makes it, you can put bigger things in, you can fill them with more things. Obviously, I'm not using those Crayola crowns. I will give those to my child at some point. And then I have these, again, Soho Urban Artist extra soft sticks, charcoal. So I, again, don't use these that often, which is why they're in there. But I really would like to get into doing some art with charcoal. There's a lot of things you can do with like values. And I have General's pastels in here. I think it was like a earth tones package I bought. And when I first got them, I actually used them quite a bit, but then I just stopped. So as you can see, they're still almost like their full regular size. I would at some point like to get back to them and use them again, but we'll get there eventually. Right now, I'm focused on painting, and I think when I'm ready to take a back seat with the painting, I will maybe get into charcoal or pencil artwork. So there's some washi tape I bought. I just keep it in there because I don't use it. I might use it to like seal up an envelope or something, but that's about it. It was like a student set that I got, so I'm obviously not using that on anything good, but it's good if you're just trying to test out some colors, like a color scheme for painting. But the paints, they don't work very well when you add water to them. They're just like this big chunky mess. But This is also great too because if you have little ones, you can latch it and they can't open those. Those latches take a little bit of effort to unlock. So if you have little things, you can keep them right in there for your art supplies and keep them nearby. And it has a handy little handle that you can tote it around with. This is my Sakura Koi watercolor set. I remember like when these first came out, they were like the big thing for a while and everybody was getting them. Um, I have not used this in years, but again, everything that I'm pulling out now, I'm hoping that I tell myself that I'm going to start using it again. So we will see. But I really like that it has the holes that you can just kind of move your mixing palette over. It does come with a brush. Don't ask me where it is, I don't know. But yeah, it's nice that you can have this brush that comes with it. You fill water in it and you can just mix all your paints right there. And then the sponge, you can just wipe the color off. This is really great for traveling. And I used to bring it with me on vacation, and now I don't because vacation's a little bit more hectic when you have a family and you have a lot more things to pack. But yeah, I really enjoyed using this. I made some decent paintings with it, and I will show those at some point in another video. If you are someone that paints, you need this. This is the go-to brush cleaner. It's a must-have. Next up, I have my Liquitex Clear Gesso. Um, if you have this, your label probably looks different than mine because I've had this for years. It's a little bit older, but it still works great. It dries clear and it leaves a little bit of tooth on your surfaces. I like to use it on my wood panels. And once it dries, I just give it a little light sand and then my wood panel's good to go. These are my Sakura Pigma Micron ink pens. I don't use these as much as I used to, but I will still get them out sometimes when I need to do like a little bit of outlining if that's what I'm doing with what I'm currently making. But this is like an old sunglass case, so it's really convenient to put them in. It makes it easier to travel with them, and you could just, I have to glue that, but you could just snap it shut and they're all compact and closed in, and it's easy to take on the go. And as far as sketchbooks, I have so many, so I'm not going to get into all of them in this video, but I do have this Fabriano sketchbook. The paper's really nice. It's very smooth, so you can do a lot of shading on it if you need to. Next is my Fabriano black paper. So I did a little bit of color swatching on the front with my color pencils, and then I did do a Liquitex marker, acrylic marker swatch on there. I've never worked with black paper before, but I see like other artists do it, so I really want to make something cool one day, but I just don't know what that's going to be yet. Next, I have the Strathmore paper. Again, this is another one where I want to try working on black paper because I just want to see if I can get like those colors to pop like I've seen other artists do. So this is another Strathmore sketchbook, tone tan paper. I think most of us know what this looks like, so I'm not going to flip through the pages. Plus, I do have some artwork in there that I at some point would probably like to turn into a more final finished work, like a painting or something, which is why I don't want to show what's in there yet, but I will at some point maybe do a sketchbook tour. I just have so many sketchbooks, I don't know if I have the time to do that. These are Prismacolor NuPastels. So I actually had a hard time getting these. I could not find them on Blick or even Jerry's Artorama. So I ended up having to buy them on Amazon. I personally don't like to get certain art supplies from there if I can help it, just because sometimes you never know like what the quality is going to be, if everything is still going to be intact when you get it. But what I really love about this is that it's good if you're doing something with color pencil maybe, or even if it's just a mixed media piece. You can use this as a great way to fill color in a very large space, and it can save you a lot of time. These are Pentel Arts Color Pen. Um, I don't use these markers that much. I only have used them in my sketchbook just when I'm trying to test things out and outline things, but I've never really used them for much else. Occasionally, I might use them for like journaling or something like that, but the tips on them are pretty fine, so you can get a good precise line with them, which I like. As far as my color pencil collection, I do have these Winsor Newton color pencils. Again, these are ones that I really just use in my sketchbook. I'm not making anything special with them or like a high quality piece with them. I'm not sure their light fastness. These are my Prismacolor Premier pencils. It's a smaller set. I, at the time, didn't really need many colors. I needed just a few. But as you can tell, I don't really use them that often. These colors are kind of still like they're full size. But you will see with my color pencils here, now these are very old Prismacolor pencils, and a family member of mine had them. I found them one day in my childhood home, and I was like, whoa, these are so cool. They were definitely made, well, I shouldn't say definitely, but they were made, I think, in the 80s. These are very old Prismacolor pencils. As you'll see, it says Barrel. They obviously don't look like this anymore. And I have to say, I do think they look slightly different when you put them down on paper compared to the newer ones today. I do feel like they're really sturdy, so I don't have any pencil points breaking. But if you ever see these at like a thrift store or something, go for it and buy them. I see things online and someone is like, hey, what are these? Are these real? Are these legit? Buy them. They are amazing. You will be so happy to have them. And next up are my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. I use these when I need like really fine details, so I can sharpen these and use these because the point is very firm. But as you can see, again, I've really only been using that blue color there and my black and white pencil as well. I again try to save these for if I'm working on something special, something that I'm hoping somebody will want to buy. And this is a workable fixative spray that I use. I have no issues with this spray. I know some people have issues with like other brands. I don't know, maybe even this brand, but personally, I spray it on my paper. I don't get any weird color patchy spots, and my artwork is protected. I got this little roller thing because I thought I was going to use it with paint. I haven't used it yet. And next I have this case that I like to keep my paint markers in. So if you are someone who has children in your house, or maybe you have like little siblings or something, this would be good for something that you definitely don't want them to get their hands on. I think technically it's for like medicine, but I like to put my paint markers in it just because, the last thing you want is for someone to get a paint marker and either color on things or like bite it or something like that. Next is my Tombow case, and it just has a lot of markers, highlighters, all kinds of things in it. I really like the case. It has a really nice look to it, and it also has a zipper pouch inside. I don't use these for art, but I do use them for journaling. Also, you can use them to sign the back of your artwork if you want. So this is a resin painting palette, and I like to use it with my gouache, and I just love that it has all this neat stuff inside of it, which you'll see in a second. And my sister made it, and I really like it, and I just get excited when it's time to paint. Now, the other palette you see in the background, this very large one, I got this from the trash. So people, do not be afraid when someone throws furniture outside. Do not be afraid to stop and look, especially if it's a table. You might find your next glass palette. So I just scored with this because I didn't have to worry about sharp edges or taping anything off. It's perfect round, it's safe, and it is great in my studio. I use it for acrylic, I use it for oil, and this was like my best find ever. So keep an eye out for that sort of stuff.